안녕하세요 여러분. 시작이 전에 팩섭 감사합니다. 감사합니다. 멋진 것 같아요 진짜. 감사합니다. 고맙습니다. 코멘트를 많이 안 받았어요. 그래도 누군가가 나에게 코멘트를 남겼었어. 이 비디오는 만들게요. 타 비디오는 영어로일 거예요. 그래서 안녕. Yes everyone, hopefully I didn't get too lazy to put subtitles on that, and hopefully that it was, I know there was probably a trillion mistakes. I don't get to speak Korean that often unless it's to this camera right here. I've been studying Korean for probably like 9 months now. Seriously studying, minus the speaking practice. I will get into the video immediately. I use a few different things. I use apps that are free. I use websites that are free. I use books that are not free, unfortunately, and I write down my progress and lessons and things in my notebook. The first thing I'm gonna say that I feel like everybody says on there how I'm learning Korean is learn Hangul. If you don't learn how to read Hangul and you just rely on romanizations, you're gonna get stuck because there's so many particles and adjective changes, and it's harder to learn if you don't know what you're actually looking at when you see the actual Korean language. So please make sure that you guys learn Hangul first. So the first thing I used was websites. My #1 all-time favorite website that I love and I recommend to everybody that ever asks me how am I learning Korean or how I'm studying Korean is how about you remember what it is first? howtostudykorean.com. That is a site that I've been using since I started learning Korean. I'm learning a little bit more seriously now than I was back then when I first found the website, but they can teach you from lesson 0 all the way to like, I don't know how many, but there's a lot. I learned how to read Hangul off that site. I learned how to conjugate. I learned irregulars. I learned particles. I learned a lot of basic structural things that you really need to know if you want to fully understand Korean, and I love that website. If you are someone who learns by writing things down, reading and writing it down, you will definitely learn from this website. Also, for the vocabulary words and the sample sentences with their explanations, because they do have that, you can click on the sample sentences and it will say them out loud for you. So that's awesome. Another thing that I would recommend using is talktomeinkorean.com. I know you guys have heard about this like 10,000 times, but really it's a good website. You can get the concept of things and you can get the easy way to do sentences and kind of understand full sentences rather than building on sentences and knowing what every little part means by Talk to Me in Korean. Okay, I don't recommend using Talk to Me in Korean just by itself because it does leave out a lot of important concepts sometimes. Even though you do get the full sentence later, it could be a little confusing to someone who didn't have any structure beforehand to understand. They have simple sentences. It's spoken by natural born Korean people. So that's a very good website to use in conjunction with howtostudykorean.com. The next thing I use are apps. I love Memrise. Memrise is my favorite app that I've ever used my entire life. Okay, so this is my Memrise app. As you can see, I have howtostudykorean.com, which is usually what I use to memorize my vocabulary for the lessons. So as you can see, I have 189 words to review. I've done 30 levels and I've learned 508 words, and there's like a million, thousand, bajillion lessons in here. There's a million of these, and if you go into it, it has all these vocabulary words that you need to learn or you've already learned, like this or those. So I think this is an awesome way to track your progress and see how many words you've learned. And you don't have to just use like one option. You can use you can do whatever lesson that you want. You don't have to just use one lesson. So I have tons of ones in here that I don't really study as much as I study this one. But yes, the last thing that I use are Korean face masks. I was gonna really try to not pull this out on camera, but you obviously saw it anyway. I use this book right here, Mastering Conversational Korean for Beginners, because I am a beginner. So this is the book that I use, and it does come with a CD, but I really hate that CD. Maybe it's because I don't know how to use it, but anyway, I really recommend this book for beginners. It can use a little bit more, but it's not boring and it's really a good read. So I do use this book to study sometimes. I recommend using a notebook. Let me show you. So I like to organize my notes this way. If you can ever see that, I don't know if it'll show up. My vocabulary for my lessons. And then the lessons, when and where, the examples, and writing in actual Hangul when I can. And yes, you can make it as interesting or as boring as you want if you're somebody that likes dry reading or you know what I mean, like serious, strict notes and stuff. You learn from these things and you learn from these websites that you write it down in a notebook. That way, if you forget anything, you don't have to go online. You can just go to your book and read it in your own words. Okay, hold on. I know a lot of people say watch Korean dramas or listen to K-pop. I'm gonna be real and tell you guys that I don't think that that's the best way to learn. I know everybody said that, but I tried it, and if you have the subtitles on, I know that you're gonna keep looking at the subtitles. Don't do that. Instead of watching the music videos those are good ways to learn, I think, when you're a little bit more ahead of the game. But if you're still way beginning, I recommend, if you have a bias group, if you have a bias, go look at their behind the scenes videos with them naturally speaking. I think that helps a little bit more than these phrases that are repeated over and over that you may not use ever unless you're constantly confessing to your lover. So yes, to keep it short and sweet, those are the ways that I have been learning Korean. Those are the ways that I learned how to say at the beginning of my video. If you liked this video and you would like to see more videos from me, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I thank you so much for watching. Bye.